The deregulation of peptides is about to create the biggest opportunity in health and business since GLP-1s first hit the market. Think about what happened when semaglutide brands first started popping up 3-4 years ago. The companies that moved first and built fast scaled to 8 and 9 figures before most operators even had a landing page up. That window doesn't stay open forever, and right now the same thing is about to happen with other peptides. People are already searching for solutions for energy, recovery, sleep, libido, and anti-aging. The demand already exists today, but what's changing is the supply side. And when that opens up, the brands that already have their infrastructure, their lifecycle systems, and their retention engine ready to go will have a massive head start over everyone starting from scratch. Now, after working with and auditing over 50 telehealth brands in the past 2 years, I'm going to show you exactly how to position yourself for this window before the market gets crowded. And peptides aren't the only thing shifting right now. In this video, I'm also covering the rise of the first one-person billion-dollar telehealth brand and Amazon's quiet move into GLP-1s, which could reshape the entire industry. So if you're running a telehealth brand, this is the video to stay current on what's actually happening in the market right now. So let's get into the peptide situation first. So the peptide hype is going crazy. And obviously GLP-1s are the most popular, most mainstream peptide, and already roughly 12% of adults are using them for weight loss. But under the surface, there's a lot of stuff happening, and there might be a lot more of this coming in the near future to be actually mainstream, to be FDA approved and so on. There's, for example, BPC 157, there's CCC 1295 for growth hormone, and there's a couple of other ones. And pretty much none of these are FDA approved right now. So there's BPC, like I mentioned, it's mainly for healing and regeneration. There's CHC 1295 for muscle and anti-aging, growth hormone. There's melanotan 2, the cosmetic Barbie peptide for skin and stuff like that. And then there's morelin for growth hormone and recovery, etc., etc. There's so many of these. And the hype right now is stronger than the law because these are not, like I said, FDA approved yet. But people are going super far to, first of all, order them from gray market, from different kind of, let's say, illegal or less legal sources. There's bodybuilders, there's biohackers, there's entrepreneurs who are going super far to optimize, and they are testing these out, using themselves as this human guinea pig. And the issue is there's not a lot of studies out of many of these yet. So people are kind of taking the risk in terms of optimizing themselves, and sometimes it's leading up to side effects, sometimes it's not. But that's the situation right now. And there are obviously telehealth brands who are selling these peptides, even when they're not FDA approved yet. But the market is significantly smaller because it's not approved, it's not legal, it's not studied enough yet. And RFK Jr. is pushing for the legalization. So on February 27th this year, RFK stated his intention to move 14 of those 19 restricted peptides back to category 1, which would allow them to be compounded by traditional pharmacies again. And obviously, if this goes through, this is going to be happening sometime in July. They're going to have a hearing about this, and potentially after that point in July, there's going to be a lot of these peptides opening up, getting approved, and this would skyrocket the market in terms of production, in terms of people ordering them, looking for them, seeking after them, and so on. So again, if that goes true, it opens up the gates to what could become the next $1 trillion industry. And here you can see telehealth brands rushing to sell BPC. This is how the market is going to look like if this happens. It's going to be the next gold rush after GLP-1s first hit the market. So what should telehealth brands do right now? What should you do as a telehealth brand right now? You should focus on building the distribution base. So you want to build the email lists, you want to build the customer base, you want to position yourself as the expert of the industry and in the industry. And when this legalization, this approval hopefully happens, you get a huge head start over anyone who is just starting from scratch. Now, trend number 2, the one-man billion-dollar telehealth company. So if you haven't already heard about this, most likely you have. There's just one man who was able to start a telehealth unicorn and scale this to $1.8 billion, pretty much only with AI and the help of his brother. So that's the whole team of the business. And who needs more than 2 employees when artificial intelligence can do so many corporate tasks? Super efficient and a little bit lonely. So what is the story? It's the story about Medvi, a telehealth brand focusing on weight loss that's projected to do a total of $1.8 billion in sales this year. And you can see here their website, their front page, their homepage. So weight loss focused, and then there's men's health, women's health, peptides and longevity, and so on. So how the hell he did do this? This is the question. And this is where it gets interesting and obviously a little bit of controversial as well. But who wouldn't like interesting? Who wouldn't like controversial? You can always get insights from it. You can decide whether you want to do this yourself or not, but at least it's good to know the story. So first, he partnered with white label telehealth platforms. There's platforms like OpenLoop, so he didn't have to do any of the service delivery and fulfillment himself. For customer support, he used AI, which wasn't perfect at first. As you can see here, for example, I'm interested in fat loss and would love some information on your services or recommended programs. And he's just giving here a lasagna recipe. So that's the customer support at this point. It wasn't perfect, but it saved him many hours and many employees. So you can make your own decision. Do you want ideal, perfect customer support, or do you want to to save, to be more efficient. And even with AI, you can make it work much better than this, even much better than with humans sometimes. But I'm just telling you how he did it, so you can make your own judgment. For marketing, he was using affiliates, but this is also where it gets a little bit more controversial, because their affiliates reportedly used fake AI generated doctor pages to promote. So there was a lot of these affiliates they were using. Can't believe how effective this is. Dr. Daniel Hayes, and there's a lot of these, and a lot of these were actually just AI, at least supposedly. And then this has led to not just criticism, but lawsuits. So you can see they actually got a lawsuit because of some of these things that they have been doing. And this shows the risk of AI and affiliates, or AI affiliates specifically. So yes, you can scale faster, but it's harder to verify quality, and you might run into ethical issues. So all of these caused him to scale fast, but it also caused him to get in some of these legal issues that he's in right now. So then the question is, what can legally be learned from Medvi? I would say use AI and automations where you can, but for your own sake, don't try to hyperscale and end up in a class action lawsuit. So you can do all of this cleanly with AI, and I would argue that you can do so much nowadays with AI that you should even default to AI, hiring AI, building process with AI instead of hiring new headcount all the time. But keep it ethical, keep it legal, don't go to the wrong side of the law. This can help you speed up marketing, handle the basic patient support, and do business analytics, and do pretty much any aspect of your business if you use it the right way. Now, trend number 3, Amazon started selling GLP-1s for weight loss, and this is huge. On April 2026, Amazon announced they will be offering GLP-1 through their medical platform, Amazon One Medical, and they will no doubt be taking a lot of the market share, because obviously they have huge distribution base, and having this medical platform under the same roof allows them to capture a lot of demand straight from the gate. The pricing is really great, the speed of fulfillment is super good, better, or at least as good as with any other provider out there. And so this begs the question, how can you compete as a telehealth brand against this giant entering the industry, selling a commodity product, commodity treatment? How can you compete with them? Because you can't really compete on a price, you can't really compete on the pace of fulfillment. So what can you do? There's a couple of things. A, brand is more important than ever, because if you don't have a brand, they have no option to choose you. Why would they choose you if there's two commodities? There's you and then there's Amazon. Everyone knows, everyone has the account there. They know, they trust that this is delivered fast, the pricing is best. If you don't have a brand, you don't have a chance really. B, niching down is uber powerful. Instead of trying to compete with Amazon and everyone else for the entire pie, choose one section of the pie and become the best at serving them. So this can mean selling some specific peptides, picking like a recovery niche, picking longevity niche, picking weight loss niche, picking hormone replacement therapy niche. It can also mean picking a more specific niche within, let's say, weight loss. So maybe you are a women's brand, you're a men's brand, your brand for this specific age group, specific type of customer profile. This is going to be super important to be able to capture your part of the demand. Then C, building a strong connection. And this means basically community. This means customer and patient relationships. For your customers that are already with you, you need to give them a good reason to stick. So what can you offer them beyond just the product that is arriving all the time? Because if that's everything you offer, they're just going to pick the first one that is cheaper than you and go there. But what can you offer for them that makes them trust you, make them like you, have an actual relationship and connection with somebody in your brand, in your team, so that they would choose you over Amazon, for example? And so what is the best way to do that? Obviously through lifecycle and retention marketing, which is what we do best. So this means email marketing, SMS marketing, it can mean push notifications if you have an app, and it can mean any kind of community you're able to build. It can be in Skoll, on Slack, on Telegram, or Discord, on Facebook, on Instagram, pretty much wherever, but it just needs to be a community where people can come together, and it's a two-way communication. It's not just broadcast communication from your team to them, but it's actually a place where they can come, they can chat with you, your team, they can chat with other people in their same position who are, relating with them. So other patients who are also on the second month of their weight loss journey or something like this. That's what actually builds a connection that they cannot replicate by just moving to Amazon. That builds a connection that they actually trust you. They want to be a part of your, like nobody else can replace that in instant overnight. So that's what we want. And so click on the screen right now to see the 3-step process we use to scale telehealth brands lifecycle marketing. Do exactly this that I was just explaining here, and then connect with that closer with your customers than the competition. So you can click here to see that process, and I'll see you in that one.